Hey everybody!
Happy Twin Tuesday!
Twin Tuesday!
Whoop, whoop. It's been a while since we had Dakota on here.
Dakota requested that he join the crowd today. So we're super excited because we're talking about something near and dear to my heart, and I know your heart.
Yeah. Well, who are we?
Oh, duh. I'm Dr. Johanna.
I'm Dr. Madeline.
And we are awesome chiropractors.
In St. Pete, Florida.
Yes.
And we're at Atlas Chiropractic Center. So we're family wellness, but our jam is pregnant and postpartum mamas.
Yep.
And if you're jumping on live, there's some emojis down. You know, Dakota loves emojis. Say hey. If you're hopping on the replay, and comment replay down below. And we love if you watch live or replay. We know your schedules are different than ours, so it's all good.
Yes. So we're super pumped to be bringing this topic to you today. And what are we talking about?
So we're talking about Diastasis Recti.
What is that?
What is that, right? So the quick and simple response is you have your rectus abdominis muscle that's running from essentially like the top part here all the way down and starting on like your pubic bone area. Mm-hmm. And it has this sheath that connects the left and right side.
Oh, fancy.
Yeah, so as mamas get pregnant and their bodies start to change to make more room for baby, those muscles will separate more. So it leaves you with not the muscle connection there, even though that sheath is there to begin with, it brings it and gaps it a little bit. So we want to be aware if that is happening.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Because if that is happening, it is totally common that it happens, and it's fine that it happens, but it is something that you do want to just be aware of and address because it causes an imbalance. So I think the reason we want to do this today is because there's a huge misconception out there.
We want to do this because we have heard the craziest stuff.
A lot lately. I've seen a lot of moms posted about this. I think maybe people are just becoming more aware of it, but I know it's not properly checked for at your postpartum visits, and there's not proper amount of education out there on like what can be done about it. So
what can be done, what should be done, what's safe, what's not safe. I have heard the craziest stuff on like things that could be done that is just like it doesn't even logically make sense.
Well, I want to hear your crazy because the other day I heard that someone actually had surgery and had those muscles stapled together because they were told nothing could be done about it.
So myth number one, nothing can be done about it. That is not true. And surely, like all things, I would hope, at least in our case, we can only speak for ourselves. Surgery is like the absolute lowest thing. Like I don't even like to consider it as a real option. There's so many more things you can do way before you ever have to get surgery. Like surgery in my case is like absolute medical emergency. You're saving my life because something crazy happened. But
yeah, absolutely.
I can only speak for myself. Anyhow, so the separation occurs. It's going to happen through pregnancy. You got to make room for baby, and that's okay. I had it. Women's bodies are amazing, and they're designed to build humans and do that. So that happens for a reason.
Yep. So don't freak out if it happens because it's totally common.
And it's common to have it like years postpartum if you were never given the right information on what you could do to actually help it. But know that there are action steps to take to actually rehab that area, to get connection back there. That way you're not leading to bigger issues down the line.
Yep.
So one, get checked by somebody who knows how to check it properly, which means they have special training. They've been to other courses to learn how to train it properly. Or train it properly, sorry.
To check it
properly.
And sadly, guys, that doesn't mean that your OB knows how to do it.
And they might. I mean,
they may know how to check it, but they may not know what other resources are out there to actually fix and correct it.
Yes, and they're not saying this, like there's definitely other people I think in the population and town and stuff that are better at checking it than necessarily an OB look, they're busy, they're in and out, they're asking you certain questions that they have to ask, it's just not at the top of their list.
Right.
We have other people who can pour more into you, that can give you more information, that gives you the time to actually check that area. And I would say like a red flag if you have somebody who checks you and they tell you that you have a certain width of diastasis recti and they're measuring based on many fingers, they can get into that separation. If they tell you to not work out, don't do anything, you can't fix it, it's a huge red flag. It's absolutely not true.
Right, that's really frustrating because could you imagine, like a lot of moms are really amped and ready to get back to working out and moving and getting fit again after they have their baby. And for someone to say, oh, I'm sorry, you have diastasis recti or DR and you can never work out again. Like, that's not realistic.
Right.
And hey, they're not going to listen. They're eventually going to work out at some point in their life, and they're going to cause more problems because it was not properly rehabbed.
We were talking to somebody the other day. She was 4 years postpartum because every provider she had been to, which was between an OB, a chiropractor, and some other ones, had all told her she had a significant diastasis and to not work out at all. And this was a very active person who spent 4 years of her life believing that, and she was like, I didn't work out because I didn't know I could. And that takes a livelihood from somebody if that's something you like to do, which is definitely where we draw the line.
Yep.
So
there are professionals out there that can properly check for it, and there are also resources out there that if you do have it, that you can do to help rehab and restore and correct it. And what are those resources?
Well, let's first go over like the myth number 2 that's popping up in my head real quick. If they tell you the way you heal it is by pushing it together and holding your abs, also that doesn't even make any sense.
Who has time for that?
I don't know.
I clearly my hands are not full.
I don't know. Not even A for effort on that one. Like for information.
I'm assuming that's probably said because there's a lot of women that wear corsets postpartum to bring tissues and stuff back together, and there's probably people out there that are doing like kinesio tape and stuff to help, which can probably help with some sort of proprioception and awareness.
Right.
That's a whole different area. That's not how you.
But you're in your body. You still have to, at some point, if this is a priority for you and you want to, learn how to engage and activate muscles properly and how to use them effectively. So, what can we actually do?
So
We'll give you that information.
So there are some resources. There are a couple of things right off the top of our head that I know that you can do. So let's label those and just shout out to the people that we trust in the area. And then if you do have this going on, you're not local, you can always reach out to us and we can help you find whoever you need as far as that goes.
So resources in the area, definitely link up with a women-specific pelvic floor physical therapist, because they will do a pelvic floor internal exam, which is part of that whole core and everything like that, and it all works together. But they're also going to be able to properly assess if you have what width your diastasis recti is, and give you great recommendations on how to actually start to rehab that area appropriately.
Yes, because there are certain ab exercises you should not do.
There's ones that are better than others.
Right.
And recently talking to our lady that we like to work with, Dr. Kaylee, if y'all know her, there's just other information out there where like you might have diastasis recti, but maybe you're like you were an elite athlete or something or you have been for a while prior to pregnancy and through pregnancy. Just because you have that doesn't mean you have to cut out all certain movements. Essentially, every person's different. So getting with somebody who's going to look at you as an individual and look at how you're moving and functioning is key.
Yes.
What are we doing?
He likes to be upside down. Babies are actually born with diastasis recti as
born
well.
with diastasis recti.
And the way that they learn how to crawl and roll over and sit up and ultimately walk is in certain phases to help them properly heal it and establish the core and pelvic floor together.
Yeah, so what a resource that does really well with that is BirthFit does a great job at going over those foundational movements, and any person in your area that's a BirthFit leader can also help you with that. They're usually very well educated in that. I definitely, we both have taken training in that, so we can help you with that if that's something you are interested in. BirthFit in general just has online resources, and they have free videos on YouTube that do go over the functional progressions, which is nice. So they have some free stuff, they have some paid stuff as well. That's another good resource. Yep. What else do we want to mention?
I mean, there are other resources out there. Those are the ones that we're most familiar with. It doesn't mean that other resources are not as good, but I think the moral of this kind of rant is that if you're told that nothing can be done about it, then you need to drop and check yourself, because
go somewhere else. Ask questions.
Yes, there are things that can be done about it, and those are the things that we know about, and we know amazing pelvic floor PTs in the area, and we know how to check for it, and we have the resources by being BirthFit professionals on how to help muscle-wise and things like that. So make sure you're just linking up with the right people so you can do the activities and do what you want to do.
We've seen way too many moms that come into our practice or like post about this in moms groups, because you're in a lot of moms groups, who are still suffering with this years later.
Yes.
And it's
years later into like multiple pregnancies.
Yes, and if you work on re-engaging that core and getting it I would say like functional and at a better set point, that's going to set you up for a better pregnancy the next time around if you choose to get pregnant again.
Yep.
And it's going to make that postpartum period a little bit better too.
Yeah,
so it's all activity that it's like you taking ownership over your health and asking different questions and demanding different answers, and we're just empowering you to do that because it's just crazy some of the stuff we hear.
We love you, ladies.
We love you. We're tired
happy,
of going
healthy, and I know if someone told me I couldn't work out, I would lose my shit, man. I already lose it when I can't work it into my schedule, so it's got to happen.
Yeah. All right. Until next Tuesday.
Until next Tuesday. Bye. Have a great day.